my batteries went dead, and I only had to add a few more things to this. I just want you to remember that we have to get rid of the Treemends with the knots in them. We have to get rid of the shadows, and this will allow everything to go through, and we won't be stuck in this reincarnation cycle here. Once we get rid of that, we'll be able to become ourselves here. One other thing, or a couple other things, and some things I really want to clear and go over here, is that when first astral projections, but OBEs, just because of this graph here, when we have OBE and we're pulled out of body, we're in our room or something like that, we're not just in our mind, but we're in the shadow's mind, because he's the one pulling us out. And we do get to see a glimpse of these worlds here because of him. So an OBE is more here, but the second that we go into the OBE, we're pulled into his mind, and then we start to get a more vivid astral projection. That's how OBEs would be defined to me, would be you're ending up over here. Now, astral projections are completely different. And I'm going to cover these quick. A lot of people have a lot of questions about astral projection, what they are, APs, your vivid dreams, things like this. And I want to cover this because it's really kind of important. I've gotten to play around with this and experiment with this and get to see this quite a bit. I actually, every time I go to bed at night and take a nap on the weekends, I get to go into these worlds and I get to play around. So I really enjoy it. What it is here's my mind's mind, and my mind's mind will flatten out. It's not this anymore. It takes, and these arms pull down, and it becomes like that. If I was to look at it from the front, it would look like that, kind of. And like I said, inside of these you'd have many yourselves, or many things that you've become. You've become so many things. So many things. Animals, you name it, you've become. So as long as there's parts out there of these things that you've allowed to become something that's inside of you, they can become part of your astral projection. So, but because of the shadows and the Sparteil, and the reason that we end up with just basically people and some structures and stuff, we basically don't get a whole lot. But if I think of all these as yourselves down here, now during the astral projection, what happens is this piece, a yourself pops up. One of these people, they've stuck a yourself, they've stuck inside of you. Now he pops up on this field. Now, I want to clarify, it's not you always creating this. Usually another mind's mind will come up on top of yours. And now this fills in with, I think of it as like smoke. But it's millions and millions and millions and trillions of soul parts. And now all of a sudden all these people start to form. It's kind of like a matrix in here. And it's all formed in this smoke. And it's generated by the mind's minds. These are yourselves here in him. These are yourselves here in you. Just kind of give it the yourself and himself together. So this just fills in with smoke and becomes a projection, astral projection between the two. It just becomes a fine layer. Now all the stuff that's inside of him can come down here and become something. All the things that are inside of you can become something up here and become something. So this is how your astral projection is pulled apart. Now when I look at it, I wake up after the astral projection, I'll see the mind's mind pulling away from me, and I'll see yourself starting to go back inside of him. Now, because of me, I just pull this whole thing into me, and that doesn't happen again if it's a shadow or something doing this. Normally, this would be its mind's mind, like I said, it's Treemends over here. It's trying to become something over there. So we're working from two different sides. We're over here and he's over here, and we come together and we create this projection together. So that's how astral projections are formed. And just even if you're in meditation, if you can't see your mind's mind and see the other mind's mind moving up to you, when you start asking, if you're looking for remote viewing and I want to see blah blah, you know, you're calling out, I want to see this number, or I want to see these people, and you're sitting here calling it, you might get pieces and parts of them thoughts that come forward, and they'll start to project images into your face. You're basically, your third eye is in here. You're inside of here, and you're able to see. So they're projecting these images that you're getting inside of yours. It's just not, they're not complete, they're not correct, because the number of things that are inside of you trying to create this image. And if you can't read these images, you can't get a exact reading from what you're seeing. You'd have to make sure this person was clear and this person was clear. Try to become nothing inside themselves, to become themselves only, and then to ask, and then to see what kind of projection you get. So that you're not getting all the other yourselves in here that are being dropped in here from the shadows. Because the more yourselves you have in here, and they're becoming something and they're not. But not only that, but you can't become yourself again. You can't become yourself over here with all these yourselves in it. So when you die, they'll become nothing inside of yourself, and then you get stuck in that reincarnation cycle. You're back around again. So you'll just become all this stuff. You'll just become yourself only, and then you'll be able to be born again. But this is projections, remote viewing, visions, vision quests, things like that people are having. They're calling something into them. You're on drugs, you're seeing hallucinations. You're actually stuck in these because you're becoming yourself. People don't realize that. When I'm schizophrenics, people that see things, hear voices, they're right here. They're inside of you. You just happen to be more in tune with it. And you have to be clear. You have to clear these things out of your mind. There's so many things going on trying to become themselves because of what the sun did. It's kind of like taking a notch out of the bottom of the chair and using the leg from the next chair to hold it up, and the next, one chair is always going to fall over, but as long as I got another chair to brace it with, I can keep going with that chain. And what he did was he basically pulled the peg out, and everything's trying to become itself without falling over. So this is what's happening. This is what people are seeing. This is what people are hearing. We hear them. This is connected to us in every way that we are connected to ourselves here. It's whether we're in tune with it or not. Whether we can see it and become in tune with it. Somebody that's having problems, they're inside their mind all the time and they're asking questions about things all the time. Yeah, I quit smoking. I drink coffee. People say, well, these are all related issues, but it's not. We're inside of it. I sit down with my cup of coffee. I enjoy my cup of coffee in the morning. I enjoy my cigar or my cigarette in the morning. I'm sitting down, I'm relaxed, and the voices are there. And they're more pronounced when I'm inside myself. It's not a hard process to become yourself. It was never meant to be a really complicated process. The sun created the complication. The process is real simple to become yourself, and you just keep becoming yourself. In a normal world, we just become ourselves. A couple of years, you'd become all 25 pieces. You'd be able to become something here. You know, as Gaia was moving forward. So over the years, we should have eventually moved forward as she did. And then we could have became something here. Just to become something here once in a while, we still need caretakers of this world. not here, but of Earth, we'd still need caretakers. We'd still need people here. We still need things to become something here. Even though we can become ourselves here all the time, we still need to be able to take care of this world. It's in God's mind. We just don't want to... He allowed us to become something. We need to take care of His stuff. We need to take care of ourselves. We learn about ourselves. We learn about everything about ourselves through this process. This is why we're having this problem. But eventually it's going to clear up. And people are asking more and more and more, how do I become myself? If you're saying the other thing I want to just point out, people are like, I'm Pleiadians, I'm Actuarians, I'm a Draconian, I'm this, I'm that. No, you're not. Nothing has ever gotten off of this planet. Now, many things have come to this planet. The sun brought shadows from 40 other worlds. He created these shadows from 40 other worlds. Now, they may be Actuarians, they may be, I haven't seen any Draconians, they may be the blonde-haired whatever, you know, they're all these, the gray ETs, whatever, they're those things. And they brought those things here to create something that can't become something here. So they're from their worlds. They're not allowed to become something on Earth. So by doing this, they can become something in nothing, but they can't become something on Earth. Something here. And if they haven't become something all the time, all the way there, then they have to keep becoming something. This was the chair leg. Okay, so when they become something in your mind, and you're standing there and you got a gray sitting there talking to you, that's one of the shadows. If you get the blonde-haired or whatever they are, or Pleiadians, or whatever you got sitting there, standing there talking to you, their shadows, their angels, their nothing is here. That's not you. You're not them. You're human. You didn't come from anywhere else but here. I'm sorry. You can only become something on Earth. You're distinctly from here. If you're born and reincarnated here over and over and over again, you're only from Earth. The reason you can't remember anything after Earth is because you never get here to figure yourself out. You never get inside of your mind's mind and find your library of all the things that you become, to enter into them, to see, hey, I was a starfish. I was a rabbit at one time, you know, or a goat, or a pig. You don't get to see that. You don't get to see those records inside of you. You don't get to see, hey, I was an atom, and I was moving along, and I can go down in here inside of your cell. All these things are in here, but they're further and further down. You know, you'd have to be able to know how to access all 25 of them to find all the different things you've become in this record that created this world. They allowed things to become something here, to allow things to become something here, so that this world could become something as real as this world that we have here. This world is created in God's mind, in something. This world is created in Gaia's mind, in nothing. Nothing and something. We're on two different lines. God's mind's over here, nothing's over here. But He did this to allow nothing to become themselves. They are what formed the universe. Everything around you. This was their heaven, their way of understanding themselves. Our way of understanding ourselves, the love. Man, has taken that from us. And it's greed, corruption, and control that drives this, because they want everything. They wanted everything that we were supposed to become. And it's not fair to those that had to become everything inside themselves. And the reason this problem came along was because it's an inherited world. He allowed man to come here because they can't, once a man dies, and he only gets so much time, he doesn't have a mind's mind to give him time. He only gets so much time inside of yourself. He only get maybe 100, 200 years, and then he's done. He can never ever become that person again. See, we can keep becoming ourselves over and over and over again. Like we have been here, cycle after cycle after cycle, but we should be able to come here for 200, 300 years, and then become something back over here again for 80 years or whatever. And to learn both sides, to experience and enjoy, to love, to have experiences, to do magic, to be ourselves, to get in touch with ourselves, to heal ourselves, to become stronger, to live longer, to become more, to love the world, to not be in a hurry, to enjoy each other, not being in a rush that this is the end of my life, I have more lives to fulfill things with. So this is what God did for nothing. And every nothing, every one of you could become an entire universe inside of you. One nothing can become an entire universe inside of it if it keeps becoming something inside of itself. So in the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, as we move forward and higher, you can become more and more things, worlds, galaxies, solar systems and galaxies. You can become many things inside of yourself. It's endless to have many things become something inside of you. We're just babies. We've not gotten a chance to become ourselves. And this isn't fair because we're already 12 billion years into the universe, and we're still puttering around in the third dimension. We haven't made it to the fourth or the fifth because of greed, control, and corruption. I don't really have much more to say, but this is what's happening. If you just remember that I don't have to go into a deep meditation. I don't need to say all this bullshit. I don't need to sit there and recant or the Bible and all this other stuff. There's nothing to it. God wanted you to become so much more. He wanted to give you the ability to become something. We've been taught all this bullshit to keep us locked in our minds, to forget who we are. As long as we never figure out who we are, we never ask questions, we never get to understand what's out there. So as long as we don't understand what's out there, it doesn't matter. And if nobody cares, nobody cares. I guess I think we should all care what becomes something here, because everything can be done really nicely done. And everybody can be happy. I don't really have anything else about this. I just wanted you to understand. And the other thing is, like, I was asked, what do you see when you see me in the veil? I see your mind's mind. And I'll say, become nothing inside yourself to become yourself only. And millions of yourselves will flow up and come into me. And I'm just a black void there. I'm like a black hole. I'm going to suck everything into me. And I'm going to take, before it's done, all this will become something inside of me. I know that's hard to understand, and I'm not going to try to explain it, but that's what's happening. So really you don't have a lot to worry about or a lot to do other than keep trying to find yourself. I'm just asking you to just close your eyes for a few minutes. Don't try to get into a deep meditation. Close your eyes. Try to just see some variances. Watch for the fog moving up in front of you. It would be a light. And then look for that circle like this coming towards you. This is a mind's mind. And you might see them in different shapes, but mostly you'll see what looks like this, and then it'll be cloudy here. And there's millions of yourselves inside of there, but people's yourselves, or animals, or anything that you've ever become. And sometimes you'll see them shaped like this, and you can enter into them, and you can go down in here and decide something, and kind of understand what was there. If anybody has any questions about anything that I've presented here, please feel free to ask. My name's Powessy. If you can't, I mean, you're watching this video, you think you have something bothering you, have something with you, something causing you trouble, go into a meditation, just say, become nothing inside myself to become something inside of powessy. Find his mind, find his mind. Find my mind. Let them find me. Because when they come here, they aren't going anywhere else. The fastest way we can clear this out is if they find me. And they can't find my mind. I can only just keep moving around. I'm constantly being filled up, so they'll come search for me. They'll come look for me and they'll enter into me. So just remember powessy and find his mind, and away they'll go. You might not get rid of them that minute, but within the day they'll take that name and they'll try to find me. So thank you very much, and that's it.